like we discussed, the purpose of this interview is for a university project only. Your identity will be kept completely disclosed and private. No names or details will be posted anywhere, and it's just you've been shown to a few people for a project, and that's it.
Okay.
Cool. So you can tell us a little bit, when did you start to seek professional help?
Well, I started to speak to someone a couple of years ago, but I was very committed. I was still using ketamine to block things out, even on the days I'd be attending my sessions.
And what about the environment you were in when you first started to seek help?
Well, I just got back from travelling with my partner at the time, and when I was away I didn't feel like this at all. But when I got back, I was back living with my mum, which didn't help things at all. I was in an environment which reminded me of so many memories and so much anger I was still holding on to. I'd also just broken up with my partner at the time. We'd been together for 4 years. I think this is what's just set me off. Most of the time when I was happy, I could just not think about it. Travelling to like these amazing countries, it's quite easy to do that.
And what did you first like to talk about in your sessions?
Well, it really scared me at the time to have to go back to what happened. I started to open up a little. I remember doing ketamine before going in just to dissociate myself from what I was having to remember.
And was it diagnosed with what the traumatic events were that led you to this point to seek help?
Yes, I knew that. I knew it before that anyway. I was very self-aware of the complex PTSD I was suffering from, having studied psychology at university. I was also very aware of my attempts to self-diagnose myself with ketamine. When I was 11, my older 2 cousins started to rape me. I'd be with my mum visiting my granddad, and they used to take me upstairs and put on some music. They'd take it in turns with me. When I started to get a bit older, I'd ask my mum not to go, but she wouldn't let me, and I hated her for this. I remember trying to tell her once, just said I didn't like how my cousins were with me, but she told me to stop being silly. But it wasn't just this. In fact, it's the memories of my mum that haunt me more and give me the regular nightmares. She used to lock me in my room when everyone else was playing downstairs, and I'd be screaming and crying just to get someone to listen to me, but she'd just turn the music up to drown me out.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what happened with your mum?
Well, when we had arguments, she would chase me up the stairs and beat me. A couple of times I had to go to hospital. One time the police came round because she pushed me outside and I fell and hit my head on a car number plate. I split my head open. I remember the police asked me what happened. I just fell. Sometimes as a punishment, she would put me in the shower and make me stand outside naked in the cold. It was so sick. At dinner, she would come over and kiss my brother's head and tell him she loved him and walk straight past me. I was so desperate for her attention.
And did your mum suffer any mental health disorders or postnatal depression following your birth?
Well, she said she had postnatal depression with me, which I know lasted for a few years into my childhood. Don't know if this is why we just never bonded.
Okay, so obviously from being at university you know quite a lot about PTSD anyway, but can you just tell us a little bit about the current symptoms and the things you're going through now? Maybe just in like a list form or...
I have recurring nightmares of my mum chasing me up the stairs. I also have trouble listening to music in high stress situations. I get very easily jolted or startled. I often get very frustrated and angry very easily. My aggression has become the biggest issue in my life and my relationship. The hardest one is how rational I am in any situation. I just can't think rationally. I haven't developed the coping mechanisms to deal with any kind of trauma in my life. It doesn't even matter how small. I have a very hard time trusting anyone. When things get really bad, I just don't want to be here anymore. I have panic attacks when problems in my life start to build up. If I have an argument with my partner, it often quite leads to this. The ketamine problem is obviously a very prominent issue in my life. If I know I can get it, I want it. It makes me feel happy and detached. I still haven't properly spoken to any of my friends about what I'm suffering from. I just don't want them to look at me differently.
Okay. And what kind of progress have you made now? Have things got any better since you've been talking to someone, or...?
Big issues causing my current relationship have forced me to start seeking help again. I just don't know where to start. I don't want to be put on medication and I just want to go away travelling again, but I know this isn't dealing with my problems.
Okay. In that concludes our questions for now. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Anything else to say?
No.
Perfect. Thank you very much.